You are looking live at Falcon Field at Farmington High School, where one of the biggest games tonight in Oakland County is already underway. Rich Kincaid with you here on TV-10. Great to have you with us. We're trying something new tonight. It's our TV-10 Red Zone. We're going to bring you not just this important Falcons-Maples game, but also shortly the North Farmington Raiders tonight hosting Lake Orion. We'll be checking in with that game as well. 7-0 Birmingham Maple against 5-2 Farmington. This is the second possession of the game for the Maples. Somebody on the line jumped, and we'll see what that's all about. On the first possession, the Maples, I'm have trouble recognizing. I'm not used to dealing with four teams, so give me a moment. On their first possession, Seaholm took over at their own 35-yard line following a short Farmington kick, drove to the Falcon 37. Farmington turned the ball over on downs once they had advanced into Birmingham territory. This is the second possession of the game for Birmingham. And on the penalty, they move the ball back to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. As you see, a scoreless football game just about halfway through the opening quarter of play. Coach Jason Albrecht has his Falcons at 5-2 on the season. A bit of a surprise, but there was a lot of preseason talk about the quarterback Dominic Pesci, and he has led his team to the cusp of the playoffs. 6 wins will get him in. They could get it done with a win tonight, therefore. If it doesn't happen tonight, they'll play their season finale. We'll have that for you on TV-10 1 week from tonight against the Utica team, which is 1-7. First down, 10 to go for the Maples. And that's a keeper by the quarterback, Colton Kinney. We'll see his brother, number 34, Grandin Kinney, making plays on offense tonight as well. That play picks up about 4, 2nd down and 6 to go. Let's call it 7 to go. Line to gain is the 10. So the battle tonight of the first place team in the OAA Blue Division, the Birmingham Seaholm Maples, and the second place team in the blue. And there's Kinney, the other one, driving for the first down. I believe he has it, maybe not. He's close.
Brandon Kinney on the run.
If he's got it, it'll be a 1st and goal. If he doesn't, and they do say he's short, 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 for Birmingham in this scoreless football game. Just underway. We're excited here tonight at our TV-10 studios to be bringing you, we hope, 2 football games more or less simultaneously. We're working out the bugs in the system. It's a conflict. Oh, here's a touchdown. And that is the other Kinney, number 34, Grandin Kinney, junior running back. That's an 11-yard touchdown run. The first points of the game are on the board. They go to Seaholm. They're ahead 6-0. As you see, 4:35 left to go in the opening quarter. So on the second drive of the football game, Seaholm takes it 63 yards and about half a dozen plays or thereabouts, and it's Grandin Kinney scoring the touchdown from 11 yards away. Wesley Billings in to attempt the point after. I don't know if that got partially blocked or not, but it sort of flutters over the crossbar. It's good, and it is a 7-0 lead here for Seaholm. Let's take another look at the touchdown run by Grandin Kinney.
Don't forget, movies are more fun in downtown.
There you see, just not much to that play. Just took it off the right tackle and cut it right back up the middle. Blocking was good. Nobody could get to him. Nobody laid a hand on him. Kinney scores the touchdown. 6-0 for Birmingham Seaholm. And as we mentioned, they're a 7-0 football team this year. Leaders of the OAA Blue. They've kind of come out of nowhere to do it. But the Falcons, since their season opening loss to the Ypsilanti Lincoln Rail Splitters, a game they could have won. They lost it by 6, but when you go back to opening out, well, the first thing you remember, it was hot up in the booth. But you remember that the Falcons, trailing by that 6-point margin, had a 1st and goal at about the 5 or 6 yard line. Were unable to get any points off of that. And that's the way it finished. From that point on, which was fairly early in the 3rd quarter, the Falcons could get nothing done offensively. But since that night, they have won 5 of their last 6. When you talk about Seaholm, they come in here, as we say again, 7-0. In the last 2 weeks, they've outscored their opponents 108-0. pardon me, a little cold. Now the Falcons on the return will take they certainly had those yard markers conveniently located, didn't they? Just about to the point where the ball was returned, and the Falcons trot out onto the field. This will be their second offensive possession. They trail the football game 7-0.
Number 9, Lewis Sullivan.
But anytime you outscore your opponents in consecutive weeks 108-0, well, that tells me you're a pretty impressive football team, and Seaholm has certainly put that mark on the board this year. But Jason Albrecht has his club headed in the right direction most definitely with that 5-2 record, and wins in 5 of the last 6. The first down play won't pick up much, a yard or so. And you see the quarterback, Pesci, coming to the near sideline, getting that play. Senior co-captain. Had a terrific season last year, throwing for some 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns. And they'll work out of the gun here on 2nd down and 9. Time. Gets the pass away. Has a man caught, could be a touchdown. They could go all the way on this one. This could be a 70-yard score, and it will be. Touchdown for the Farmington Falcons. Pesci had time, and he laid it in there. Hit his man in stride, and his man, I haven't been able to pick up his number yet, but he had a couple of steps on the defender, and it is a 69-yard touchdown pass by Pesci. And maybe I'll be able to get that number for you of the receiver on the replay. But a 7-6 football game, and the Falcons have a chance to tie it right here with the extra point. A 2-play, 71-yard scoring drive by the Falcons as Pesci connects on a 69-yard touchdown pass. Let's see who caught the thing. There it is. That's number 4, and that's Cam Petaway. And this is not the first time we've seen Cam Petaway breakaway for a long touchdown. And that one covering 69 yards. The Falcons have tied the Seaholm Maples 7-7 with 3:32 left to go in the opening quarter. Well, how about that? Seaholm puts together a scoring drive on their second possession, and on their second possession, the Falcons answer. 71 yards in 2 plays, 69-yard pass from Pesci to Petaway. I think the kickoff went out of bounds across the way. Or perhaps it was down. I'm not entirely sure. Because had it gone out of bounds, there'd be a flag. I don't see one. So it looks like Seaholm will start this drive at their own 33. A 7-7 game now at Falcon Field. The Raiders-Lake Orion game delayed for half an hour tonight. They'll kick it off at about 7:30, 15 minutes or thereabouts from now. They were celebrating today, and what a thing to celebrate, 60 years of Raiders football. And are you saying, well, they've had more than 60 years. The actual 60th anniversary was 2 years ago, but they couldn't celebrate it because of COVID. 5, 6, 7 yards on the first down play here for Seaholm. So they had a lovely ceremony tonight. And that was in the school auditorium, or it was somewhere in there, here at in the North Farmington building. And I hate to use the word celebration because it gets overused, but a program on the field tonight before the Raiders take on the Lake Orion Dragons. Give him a gain of 6 on first down, second down and 4 for Seaholm in a 7-7 game. How about that defense by Farmington?
Carmel Moore and Aaron McCray led a host of tacklers.
They're calling it, that officially is a gain of a yard. So that's, he ended up 5-6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he had gained that yard before he got shoved back. Colton Kinney up under center. He's going to keep it himself, try the right side, gets free, gets the first, gets more, still trying to get away, and all the way down to the 44-yard line. He had 3, got 11. First down Maples on the quarterback keeper by Colton Kinney. That's what the good ones will do, right? It looks like you've got him at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to slide away from that tackle. And then it seemed like on his own momentum, his own volition, he was able to pick up an additional 5 or 6 yards, those yak yards, right? Yards after contact. He's got his brother blocking for him, and nice job to get away from a couple of tackles. And look at that. Lowers the shoulder, and he moves 3 Falcons back. First down play is a run up the middle. It'll pick up 9. And that was Kinney again, Colton Kinney.
Second out and 2 on the 44-yard line.
Well, look at that nice run. The other Kinney. Grandin Kinney. Down to the 19. First down again as they move those chains.
Kevin Miller and Kinney was on the tackle. First down Maples.
Excuse me. I'll have to take some cough syrup here. This time it's Jack Holgrave trying the right side for a couple.
Aaron McCray and Jaden Dan.
For the record, I was tested again, and I'm negative. I've got COVID. But I do have a little bit of a sinus thing going on. Second and 5.
Flag on the play.
And they're calling timeout. Seaholm's calling a timeout here. It appeared that Colton Kinney, number 2, the quarterback, didn't like the look of things, so he's going to go talk it over. First down carry by Grandin Kinney, number 34. Flag, though. It's a procedure call. Procedure call goes against Seaholm here, so that will negate the first down. Should make it second down at 6.
Second down and 6.
Yeah, the nose of that, the back of that football just forward of the 15-yard line, so officially the line of scrimmage is the 14, and the line to gain is the 9. And it's second down. Talked about that ceremony at Ron Holland Field tonight, celebrating 60 years of North Farmington Raider football, and that is the celebration ongoing. Pitch to the right side, and down inside the 5-yard line goes Jack Lewis. So they say he went out at the 4. That's enough for a first down.
Number
First and
24,
goal,
Cameron Hughes on the
and
tackle.
Seaholm looking to score
First and goal.
on their second consecutive possession here. You see the score, 7-7. Right up the middle goes Kinney, the quarterback, Colton Kinney, and he scores. Touchdown, 4 yards out.
Touchdown.
And so both the Kinneys have scored here. And Seaholm goes back into the lead on the last play of the quarter.
Wesley Billings getting ready for the extra point.
Billings, the point after, is up. Flags.
Flag down.
Five-yard walk-off against Seaholm will result in an extra point attempt of about 25 yards. And that's good. So Seaholm goes up 14-7 as the first quarter at Falcon Field comes to an end. A couple of touchdown runs by Kinney. This one we're taking a look at right now. The quarterback number 2, Colton Kinney. And just now, it's a quarterback keeper. It's a quarterback sneak. And he snuck it in there from 4 yards away. So that's the go-ahead touchdown for Seaholm. And that's the end of the first quarter. Seaholm 14 and Farmington 7. So we welcome you into our TV-10 studios, and it's an unprecedented night for us. We're all very excited about it. We're able to bring you, well, the biggest game in the county tonight. Birmingham Seaholm looking to run their record to 8-0. The Farmington Falcons looking to punch their ticket to the playoffs. That's one of our screens. Very shortly, when they get underway at Ron Howland Field, we will also bring you the game between North Farmington and the Lake Orion Dragons. So we're pretty excited about that. The North Farmington game is about to get underway on our right, and the Seaholm Maples are about to kick off at Falcon Field on our left. The Maples have just taken a 14-7 lead over the Farmington Falcons. Falcons stopped them on their first possession, but Seaholm has scored on each of their last two. Now the Falcons will try to return the favor as they will start, I'm not quite sure, about the 33-yard line as a matter of fact. So there we go. As we can see, North Farmington just about getting ready to kick off, and this is just the kickoff marked the first play of the second quarter at Falcon Field. So unfortunately, it's not a big game for North Farmington. They're 2-5. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's been a disappointing season. There's been some injuries and all the rest of it. But they'll look to get a good challenge tonight out of a Lake Orion team that plays a division above them, but which comes in at sub-500. They're 3-4. So it'll be a good test for the Raiders in that one tonight. But a lot to play for at Falcon Field as this possession gets underway for Farmington with probably a loss of a yard. I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. So they'll be looking at a 2nd and 10 situation here tonight. Let's head on back now to Falcon Field. And a favorable call on the first down run. It's 2nd down and 10. I thought maybe he'd lost a yard or two. Among those speaking at the big event they had here tonight in the high school is Matt Shepard, the voice of the Detroit Tigers, old friend, and quarterback here in the late 1970s. When I say here, I mean North Farmington. second down 10, and something caused everybody to move, and the Falcons have called a timeout.
On this cold night, I can sure use a hot drink from our amazing concession stand.
You just get a little sense of things. Now, normally, we're in the studio tonight. First time that we've been broadcasting in studio this season. You get a sense looking at it on television that it's a little chilly now, right? Mid-October. It's the same way every year. Opening night, it's 93. You got to put a fan up in the booth. Kickoff at so the Raiders
returned by
take the opening kickoff.
number 8.
That's certainly not great field position at 20-25, somewhere in the vicinity there. At Falcon Field.
10, Dorian Hill.
Meanwhile, well, they were at taking a look right now at Holland Field. And I'm watching the Falcon game for you. Petaway came in motion. It was just a straight dive, flip, middle, pick up a couple three. And the first play of the game for North Farmington at their own 27. Like a little bit of a juggle on the handoff. The play will pick up a couple of yards.
Ball was carried by P.J. Gardner. Tackled by Christopher Hargett.
Okay.
Timeout call by North Farmington. Their first time out of the half.
I'm going to switch back to Falcon Field right now, where Farmington is driving courtesy of this Dominic Pesci pass. It's good for a gain of about 20 yards or thereabouts to Petaway. That'll have the Falcons in business in Seaholm territory at the 35-yard line. 14-7 in this one. The visiting Birmingham Seaholm Maples have this 14-7 lead, and the Falcons have the football. Second down and about 4 from the 29. Not much to be had on that first down, too. That was Ryan Connolly trying to find anything at all on the left side, and fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line, third down and 4. Boy, would the Falcons like to keep this particular drive alive. They're down 7. And this is their second possession of the football game. Tell you what, guys, if somebody could come out here, I actually have some cough syrup, but it's out of my reach. All right, big third down and 4 play here for Farmington. Pesci, a little spin move in the backfield. Long down the middle, has a man overshot him. Oh, it was close too. Into the end zone and incomplete. Into the end zone and incomplete. Tell you what, that intended receiver, it was close. I think he got, I'm not sure if he got his fingertips on it or not, but it was close enough that he, when you look at it, you think he may have. And the intended receiver was number 11, Owen Madison. So 4th and 4. Falcons will go for it here. Pass incomplete over the middle. Jamar Peterson, the intended receiver, number 12, and they just didn't click on it, so the Falcons turn it over on downs, and the Maples, with that 14-7 lead, will start at the 29. Meanwhile, at Holland Field, no scores. The Raiders went 3 and out on their first possession. This is the first offensive play for the Dragons, and it picks up nothing. Oh, it wasn't even a play. There was a penalty on it, 5-yard walk-off. So it will remain first down, as you see, just underway tonight at Holland Field. The game was delayed to commemorate the 60th anniversary of North Farmington Raider football. We were doing that North Farmington game for you, couple 3 weeks ago, and we looked at the history of that series, and it dated back to, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Literally the same month as the Cuban Missile Crisis, October of 1962. And that was the second season of Raider football. They played a limited schedule in their first season, 1961, I think 5-6 games kind of thing. Over at Falcon Field, Lake Orion picks up a first down on a 2nd and 8. They get a 10-yard run. They've got the lead there by a touchdown. And over at Holland Field.
Tackle in the backfield by Brendan Rice.
Artero Wilson, the sophomore, number 65, was pretty jacked up after that play. And that's a 3rd and 5 for Lake Orion. Here's a big gainer for the Dragons. He may go all the way. This could be a 65-yard touchdown run, and it is. Oh, my goodness.
Touchdown by Billy Robertson.
I believe that was James Patterson Jr., number 24. He just ran 65 yards for a score to put the Dragons on top 6-0 early in the football game. So just like that, on their first possession, Lake Orion drives 70-some-odd yards, and they're on top 6-0 pending. At Falcon Field, meanwhile, extra point's good.
The extra point is
Seaholm driving out to near midfield, and they'll pick up a yard on a running play to bring up 3rd and about 5, maybe 6. 7-0 Lake Orion at Holland Field. And you see in the corner the Falcons trying to stay with Seaholm here early, midway, I just said, midway through the second quarter of a 14-7 lead. Let's go to Falcon Field, as a matter of fact. So this is a big play in this football game. And there is a flag down. I'm not sure what that's all about. We'll find out. Oh, it's a face mask. It's against the Falcons. That's going to be a first down. Unless they're offsetting penalties. No, it's going to be a first down for Seaholm. Boy, they had a chance. Now, wait a minute, they've called that 5-yard, that funky 5-yard face mask, so it will not be a first down. I'm just saying, to me, a face mask is a face mask, Just don't do it. Anyways, it works out in Farmington's favor. It's 2nd down and 3. Just saw the kickoff at Holland Field. The Raiders trailing now 7-0 will take over at about their own 30. And another, let's wait and see. Yeah, first down, he picked it up. Only needed a couple of yards. Advanced the football to midfield, 1st and 10, Seaholm there. A fast-paced second period tonight at Falcon Field, 14-7. The Maples getting quarterbacks they do have quarterbacks. They have gotten I'll get this right. Really, I will. We've got all the night. Seaholm getting touchdowns from their their brother backfield combination, the quarterback Colton Kenny, who scored their most recent touchdown, and his brother Grandin Kenny. They got to be twins, right? This has come up before. They're both juniors. And no gain for them on first down. I guess it bespeaks the sort of life I lead, but this is actually not the first time I've been watching multiple games and been calling them both in my head, right? You might have one game on the computer, might have one on your TV, might have, you know, you can do that deal now. You can actually watch 4 baseball games at once and have a handle on what's going on, if you do it right. You can't do it with hockey games, though. Kinney looking to go outside. Nice defense. Nice Falcon defense. He'll get a yard. That'll be 3rd down and 9 for Seaholm here. They're 7-0. The Falcons are 5-2. 6 wins get you into the postseason, everybody. Sometimes 5 will. It's not based on wins per se. It's based exclusively on NFHS points. And if you were to ask me to describe to you outline the formula for how one determines an NFHS football point, I couldn't do it. Long pass over the middle, and the Raider game goes incomplete. And that's going to be like a 4th and 21 for them. All right, here we go. 3rd down, 9. And it looked to me like it was Pesci that got in there to make the stop, number 1. But the ball carrier, Kyle Robbins, he needed 9, and he gets a couple. So it's 4th down, 4th and long. The ball's at the 42, so it's 4th and 7. One would expect to see a Lake Orion punt here. And we suspect that number 11, Jack Lewis, is in there to do just that. Falcons get it's an unusual setup with 2 guys standing astride one another in punt formation. But the left-footed kicker gets it away, and it'll roll to a stop at about the Falcon 20-yard line. So they'll start from there. It remains a 14-7 game. We're getting closer to halftime at Falcon Field, where it's 14-7 Maples. 7-0 Lake Orion on a long touchdown run early. The Raiders looking to just get things turned around a little bit. 2-5 on the campaign. And they've really struggled since they won their first 3 games last year. We all remember that. It looked to me 3 weeks into the season last year that they might be not just a playoff team, but a really good playoff team. The way they looked, they're scoring 40 every night and giving up 15. It looked like this might be a team that would make a run, but then, as far as I'm concerned, inexplicably, now the Raiders dropped their next 6. And actually Farmington last year, by dint of winning their last 4, finished 4-5, finished with a better record than the Raiders. Nobody would have said that at the end of September. I just don't see it. So our main screen right now focused on Falcon Field, 1st and 10 Farmington. And they have the football at their 20-yard line. Pesci, time, zings that pass down the middle. Is that thing caught? Yes. Yes, it is caught. That's a nifty little 27-yard gain out to the 47-yard line. Boy, you love that arm of Pesci. You give him a little bit of time like that, and a deep throw, a deep ball like that, and he just threw it on the line. That was a beautiful thing. 1st and 10 Falcons, timeout Seaholm. That's their 2nd.
Let's not forget the Farmington Civic Theater has friendly prices and friendly staff. Save even more when you become a member. Unlimited movies for just $15.95 per month. You can sign up online or at the theater in downtown Farmington.
So the teams are gathered on the timeout. The Raiders have punted the football, and Lake Orion's going to have great field position out near the 50-yard line. (7-0) in that game. The visiting Dragons with the lead. And a long time out here at Falcon Field. You see the situation, a minute and a half to go in the first half. And Seaholm has a 14-7 lead. But the Falcons are hanging. They're hanging with them. Pesci again gets time. Again goes deep down the left side, and this one goes incomplete. Tell you what, though, you keep giving him time, he's going to do all right. 2nd and 10. Quick little pass into the left flat, caught by Owen Madison. Flag late. That flag coming well after the play was whistled dead. The gain is to the 40. That's first down yardage on a play that picked up 15. But clearly some sort of a personal foul after the play was blown dead. It's going against Seaholm. That should give the Falcons the football at the 25, and it does. How about that? You get about 30 yards on the pass plus penalty, and they're knocking on the red zone door here on TV-10 Red Zone Night. 1st and 10 Farmington. They are at the Maples 25-yard line. Minute 20 left to go in the opening half. 14-7, Seaholm has the lead. Pesci been throwing a lot tonight. Dumps this to the right side. It's caught. And the Raiders, the Falcons are going to have the football 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line, but there's a flag back in the backfield, and it's holding against Farmington. So that play doesn't count. And instead of 1st and goal, I'll just have to wait and see if this is a spot infraction, which it may well be. So they had it 1st and 10 at the 25. It's going to wind up costing them 15. So it's going to be 1st down and 25. Such a costly penalty, especially when they call it at the spot of the foul. I mean, it's one thing to have them walk off 10 yards from the 25, but when they walk off that extra 5 and push it back to the 40. 1st and 25. Pesci, just a quick little dart caught in the left flat by Owen Madison.
Knocked out of bounds by number 11, Jack Lewis.
So that gets 5 of it back, 2nd and 20. At Holland Field, meanwhile, the Dragons are in the red zone. They're already ahead 7-0. Pesci throwing and in and out of the fingertips across the way, and incomplete. I think the intended receiver, there he is. It's number 13, Luke Donahue. So 3rd down and 20. See the situation, 51 seconds left to go in the first half. Boy, that holding call. Pesci, time, going deep. Does he have a man? Is it caught? No, incomplete. Very close to another long touchdown pass by Dominic Pesci. And I got to apologize to you. I'm just having a little trouble picking up the numbers. Working off a screen here. But there it is, number 11, Owen Madison. And that's twice now in this half, and actually in this quarter, that would-be touchdown passes by Pesci have just gone off the fingertips of the intended receiver. Injured player will slow things down at Holland Field. So now it's 4th down and 20 from the 35, and the Falcons will go for it here. It's one thing on this drive in this second quarter. The offensive line for the Falcons have figured things out, and they've given Pesci time to throw, and the Falcons will, on the 4th and 20, call a timeout. Well, that's the second time out of the half by Farmington.
Falcon discount card for a great price on a great meal.
So for points to ensue on this drive, the Falcons are going to have to pick up 20 or a score itself on this play. Meanwhile, they're ready to get things going again at Holland Field, where Lake Orion in the first quarter has a 7-0 lead. And they've got the football second down at the Raider 10. And they're going to score again. Lake Orion gets the touchdown on the pass to Luke Gannon. Here's Pesci. The home run ball, no, it's not going to work out. Trying to find Petaway down there, couldn't quite do it. It was thrown to the outside shoulder, and he wasn't able to quite go and get that one. So the Falcons turn the football over on downs, 38 seconds to go in the first half. A nice drive by Farmington. They got a break with that, a personal foul penalty. But then committed the hold, and that killed the drive. Maples will take a knee here to end the first half. All right, just a matter of those. I'm not sure, frankly, if Seaholm will have to take another knee or not. Apparently not. They're walking off. So that'll be halftime at Farmington High School. At Falcon Field, the 7-0 Birmingham Seaholm Maples. They lead the Farmington Falcons by that score of 14-7. The two brothers for the Maples, the Kinnan brothers, have each scored a touchdown in that one. Falcons answered the first of the Maple touchdowns with a 69-yard scoring pass from Pesci to Petaway, and that tied the game, but only briefly, because Seaholm, they drove right back down the field and took the lead, which they hold currently. An encouraging sign, it seems to me, for Farmington. The offensive line, the protection time that they've given their quarterback Pesci. He's got a great arm, one of the best in the entire Oakland Activities Association, and I'm talking all of the conferences, not just the blue. He's terrific. You give him time to throw, he's going to hit some of those, and that's what we'll be looking for in the second half. Birmingham, as we've said, a perfect 7-0 on the season. Farmington, meanwhile, at 5-2, terrific year. But you need 6, most likely, to get into the postseason. If they don't get it tonight, they've got a 1-7 Utica team coming to Falcon Field next Friday night. We'll have that for you here on TV-10. Okay, so we'll take a break for halftime at Farmington. We'll keep the North Farmington game with you, but I'll be back with you in a few moments. Okay, great.
Penalty was against North Farmington, but the penalty has been declined. That'll be 1st and 10 Raiders. Ryan Shelby's pass is incomplete, intended for Thomas Thackerty. Carter carried the ball. Shelby brought down in the backfield. Vinny Lee's punts down by Amari Harden Jr. Don't forget to stop by the concession during tonight's game. You can also get your Raider Spirit wear at the Peril window. Grab your 50-50 tickets. The drawing will take place during halftime. Purchase our beautiful program featuring ads from our sponsors, roster, and pictures of football teams. Caden McGrath-Reed carried the ball. Tackled by Anthony Johnson. Raymond Payne on the carry. Tackled by Trey Thomas. Pass is broken up by Terrell Smith. And that's the end of the first quarter with our score, Lake Orion 14, North Farmington 0.
All right, welcome to TV-10 Red Zone on this Friday night, week number 8. Is it 8? It is. Week number 8 of the high school, I can't believe it, high school football season. We're right now, it's halftime at Falcon Field, or the undefeated Birmingham Seaholm Maples. Too long a name, okay? We'll just go with Seaholm from now on, maybe Mapes. They're at 14-7 over Farmington. The Falcons bidding for a state playoff berth, need 6 wins to guarantee that. They have 5 coming into the game tonight. Again, they're going to play a 1-7 Utica team in the season finale 1 week from tonight. We will have that for you here on TV-10. Meanwhile, on 60th anniversary commemorative night at Holland Field, 14-0 in favor of the visiting Lake Orion Dragons. Ron Holland was the football coach at North Farmington when I went to Farmington High School. As you know, the class of 73 of which continues to rule. But a storied rivalry it was between Farmington and North Farmington until Harrison came in and pretty much spoiled everything. But then, of course, Harrison became, a legendary part of the story of football in the Farmington Public Schools, obviously. So a Saccarino here for the Raiders, and it's 3rd and a lot. Put it that way, 3rd and about 17. They got to get the football out to the 42-yard line. Quinn Parpart. I just saw him trot in at a wide receiver position. Ryan Shelby in a wing position, and this is another sack. And that football moved all the way back inside the 20, down to maybe the 15-yard line or thereabouts, 16, call it. So that's going to mean 4th down at about 25.
Sacked by Kyle Purdy.
So they'll kick it away. The Raiders will. They have not been able to do too much tonight in this game against the Lake Orion Dragons. They trail at 14-0. We're just underway here in the second quarter. And we will be heading back to Falcon Field where halftime, nice stick there on the punt return. But as you see, the punt carried only 3 yards further than the line to gain. So Lake Orion in plus territory at the 45-yard line. But we will be heading back to Falcon Field, the marching band. And I noticed I believe, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it's alumni band or when they bring in the youngsters from the middle schools to give them a taste of what it's like to be part of the marching band, and a good unit this year for Farmington. I noticed, I actually counted them earlier this year, and they're marching over 30 kids, which is great. And it is the middle schools tonight playing with the big kids. And I can tell you firsthand, the kids at Power and East, they're having a marvelous time. My daughter did that back in the day. And I just remember she was an excited little girl at the time. And next year, when she was a freshman, she was in the Falcon Marching Band, and she was in the Falcon Marching Band for 4 years. So Lake Orion up a couple of touchdowns, and they'll pick up a 1st down and more. Down to about the 25-yard line goes Caden Diakonfried. So it's an interesting situation working out of a studio like this, because you're in a studio, okay? So I can look at the screen. I can tell you, it looks like it's cold outside. I see people wearing hoods and gloves and all the rest of it. But I've been sitting in the studio for a couple of hours, so I'm inured to that. I'm a viewer tonight, just like you, as Lake Orion comes up with another big play, and they're down to the 15-yard line, but there's a penalty flag thrown on that play. So let's wait and see. But it's interesting. You feel a strange sense of detachment, actually, because I'm not hearing stadium sound. So I just feel like I'm in a room talking it's an adjustment, okay? But we're excited about working this thing out and being in a position where we can bring you both the games because we do have these conflicts. And I know we've got Raider fans that want to see their Raiders. We got Falcon fans that want to see Farmington. If we work this out, and we will. We've worked everything else out over the course of the past 15 years or so that I've been here. We're going to have some fun with this. So that's what we're attempting to do tonight. A nice long halftime show at Farmington, and action continues at Holland Field. Let's head on back over there, shall we? So this is what happened while I was talking. So a little pitch to the outside, the ball carrier, Billy Roberson the third. And look at him get freed on the sideline. And now you got Raiders chasing. And he takes it all the way down to the, I don't know how they didn't give him the touchdown there, but he's down to the 1 yard line. So it looks for all the world. They actually say he stepped out at the 2. So it's going to be first and goal for Lake Orion as they look to improve on a 14-0 lead early in quarter number 2. So the Falcon marching band exits the field. We have a timeout in the Farmington game. 8:03 to go in the half. Already 14-0 in favor of Lake Orion. We did mention Lake Orion. They've had a mixed bag of a season, coming in with that under 500 record of 3-4. They've been unable to win back-to-back games this year. If they do tonight, they will have. But they also play in the division above Farmington, so it's a test for the Raiders. And you got, I'm sorry about you got to excuse me on the this cough thing I got going on. It's just a little. I was fully checked out 2 days ago. They gave me the test where they swab it and you get the result the next day or the day after, and I'm good on that. It's just it may be partly allergies because they got some of that going around, but. I'll tell you a little story while we have time to kill, all right? I did an NHL game once on WJR, the conference final game between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. And excuse me, but as I cough, I say thank you, Bruce Martin, because Bruce had a cold, okay? Not a huge cold, but a cold. And it's not fun to broadcast when you have a cold. Your whole presentation essentially depends on your voice, and if you spend half the night hacking away, well, nobody's having a good time. So Bruce, just before game, he asked me if I'd like to do the game, if I would do the game. I said, geez, Bruce, I mean, you've been the announcer, Hall of Fame announcer for the Red Wings for 30-odd years. It was his last season, and he let me do that game, I think, as a way to show the people making the hiring decision that I would be perfectly fine as the Red Wings announcer. And I'll tell you, it was the greatest night of my broadcast life, right? I'm at the United Center calling a playoff game, and the only thing that went wrong is the Wings lost the game. But gosh, I had a blast. And here we are now. So you never know. I could have asked some other guy, can you do this for me tonight? I'm not feeling that great. I think if I had known I was going to cough as much as I did, or have, I might have. But I didn't think I would. So we're with you here tonight. And it's still, my little story there, we missed an entire Dragon touchdown as they go up 20-0. But anyways, that's all part of the fun of being here on a Friday night on TV-10. And the kick is up and good.
Extra point attempt is good.
Oh, and then after the game, I went and hung out with Paul Woods and we had a riot. I'll tell you one thing about that, and this is true. I knew as soon as I sat down, Mark Howe, Gordy's son, was in the booth. He wasn't dressed for the game that night. The broadcast booths at the United Center are enormous. And Mark Howe standing behind me, it was like 30 seconds to air. And Mark Howe simply says, breathe, just breathe, okay? Because of course you're nervous. And then the game started. It was just like an athlete. I wasn't nervous once the game started. I was fine. And then Woodsy and I, we just had chemistry. He's a terrific guy, good friend. We would have been, we'd have been a legend. They'd been putting us, I'm not bragging, they would have been putting us in the Hall of Fame too. We were just perfect together. So I was sorry it didn't work out on those grounds alone, because, it would have been a laugh riot. Unusual to see or hear at a National Hockey League broadcast, at any rate. Getting ready to get back underway at Falcon Field, 14-7, Seaholm leading Farmington. And Lake Orion, the game you're watching now, kicking off to North Farmington. They lead it 21-0, almost midway through the second quarter at Holland Field. And so far, not the kind of a game that the Raiders were hoping for on their big commemorative night. And that is an accomplishment, 60 years of football. And you think about the names that have gone through that program, coaching and players. But over at Falcon Field, that's the key game tonight. All right, North Farmington, they're not going to be a playoff team this year, unfortunately. I do like Coach Herstein. I think he's on the right track, but he's, most notably, he hasn't had his star quarterback all season long. And they always say, this is what drives me nuts. Coaches say, well, next man up. Well, you know, they say that as if it didn't matter, okay, next man up. If everyone was as good as anyone else, you wouldn't have first string or second string. It would just be next man up. Who cares? Just throw somebody in there. But the fact of the matter is, you know, it's an athletic competition and some people are better at it. Kickoff in the second half at Falcon Field, and the Falcons, who deferred, they're getting a big return on this second half kickoff, and they're going to start in Seaholm territory, if not get a touchdown. They are going to get a touchdown. It's returned all the way for a score. How about that? On the second half kickoff, the Falcons have tied the score. That's about a 98-yard return, just down the near left sideline. And the Falcons have tied it up. And once again, I'm afraid on the monitor, I just wasn't quite able to pick up that number. We're going to work on that. Flag on the extra point, so that was no kick at all. But this is a big extra point. It's to tie the game. So here we go. We're going back to Falcon Field, and we will show you the touchdown, which has an extra point pending, left this one tied up. And here it is. And it's returned all the way by Keyshawn Wilson, number 6. You see him there in the clear, 98 yards on the kickoff return. Extra point ties the game. We are tied essentially to start the second half. 13 seconds have elapsed at Falcon Field, and it's Farmington 14 and Seaholm 14. How about that? Keyshawn Wilson. Can we see that touchdown again? Can we see that return again? He just asks into the void. I just want to see it again. That's the biggest play of the season for Farmington to date. All right. The second half kickoff, they're down 14-7. Let's take a look at the replay. The touchdown run by Wilson. Bobbled it around at about the 10. So we'll say that's maybe more of a 93-yard return, and he just, nothing to it. Good downfield blocking. He didn't have to make a cut or anything. He just had to run faster than the other guy, and he did. So there's Keyshawn carrying the tying points into the end zone. We'll also work on getting a kill switch for the mic. Such a thing does exist. It's literally called a cough switch. And you press it, and your mic goes dead, and you cough, and then you turn your mic back on. I think, did a flag go down late there on that kickoff, or was it just because the ball went out of bounds? We'll find out. So I'm just sort of freestyling mentally right now. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? 13 seconds elapsed in the third quarter, and the Falcons have tied the Maples. How about that? $21-0 at Holland Field as they hit the 5-minute mark. And when you're talking football, you say the 5-minute mark, it means 5 minutes remaining. If you're talking hockey, if you say we've hit the 5-minute mark, it means there's 15 minutes left in a given period. Hockey, for some reason, uses elapsed time in describing their clock situation. Everybody else is like, how much time is left? Penalty against the Falcons here on that kickoff, just a 5-yarder, but Seaholm, excellent field position, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. So the last time they had the football, they led 14-7. Now they are tied at 14. Ball carrier number 3, Jack Hallgrave, gets 4 on 1st down. Another big play at Holland Field, and Lake Orion's marching down the field again. They've got it 1st and 10 at the Raider 35-yard line. 21-0 Dragons in that one. But right here, undefeated Birmingham, 5-2 Farmington, locked in a fierce battle. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration by the Falcon defense. They'll give him a gain of a yard? Really? No, can't be. That was a loss on that play, and it brings up 3rd down and 8. The line to gain is midfield. Tell you one thing, I really like having the scoreboard insert in the lower corner. In the booth, you sort of have to stick your head out and crane your neck to see this. I just have to move my eye down and left. Very nice. Kinney, not going to get it. He'll get 3. And it'll be we'll go to Holland Field momentarily, where Lake Orion has scored again. So 4th and 4 here. Fourth and 4. And Seaholm looks like they're going to go for it. And what a huge stop this would be for the Falcons. They would take over in plus territory if they can pull it off. Boy, it sure does look like this is a designed run, doesn't it? It is. It's a quarterback keeper. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage, gains a couple, 3 yards, but does not get it. Kinney stopped short, really by a couple of yards. And the Falcons will have the football at the plus 49. They will start in Seaholm territory with 9.5 minutes to go. Meanwhile, at Holland Field, Lake Orion moves into a 28-0 lead. And it's just that power running game, just that burst, and he's into the secondary level instantly. Billy Roberson gets that score, 28-0 Lake Orion. Meanwhile, Falcon Field, 1st and 10 Farmington. They'll get a couple of yards before the ball carrier is shoved back. Ryan Conley on that carry, give him a gain of 2. Falcons need to get the football to the 39-yard line. 93-yard kickoff return on the second half kickoff by Keyshawn Wilson, the key play in the game right now. 14-14 tie as tackled behind the line of scrimmage is Petaway. A significant loss. And not so significant. 3, you probably heard me count, right? You lost 3. So 3rd down and 13 for Dominic Pacey and the Farmington Falcons. Nice looking spread formation. Wilson coming in motion near side. Time for Pacey going deep. Home run ball, incomplete.
For number 13, Luke Donahue, incomplete.
Falcon receivers want the interference called, but they always do. It's the nature of the job. 4th down, 13. The Falcons unable to take advantage of their 4th down stop, to take advantage of starting a drive in Birmingham territory, barely albeit, but nevertheless they will punt the football away in a 14-14 tie. Heading towards halftime at Holland Field, 3 minutes to go there, 28-0 in favor of Lake Orion. Kick is away. I'm wondering if the Seaholm player didn't touch it. No. No, they did. I think that's Farmington's football at Falcon Field. That ball hit the leg of a Seaholm player, and a Falcon was right there to fall on top of it. And so that's as well as a punt's going to work out ever. 1st and 10 Farmington at the Seaholm 25. And the Falcons are right on the ball. The only reason I can tell it was Farmington's ball was the way the punt return, or the punt defense team reacted at the end of the play. Loss of a couple of yards on a 1st down carry by Ryan Connolly.
Ryan Connolly on the carry.
Well, the Falcons made their own break a moment ago when they stopped Seaholm on 4th down and 4 and took over at the Birmingham 49. They couldn't do anything with the ball, but they just got a break handed to them when that punt hit the leg of a Seaholm player, and the Falcons recovered. They lose 2 on 1st down, 2nd and a dozen. 7:17 to go, clock running at Falcon Field. Falcons have Utica next week. They are 1-7. You know how sports works, though. You have a team that comes in 1-7 or 1-8 or 2-7, and you think, well, we'll show up, we'll get the win, we'll be in the playoffs, and it doesn't always work that way. So they come racing to the line to the Falcons. Pacey throwing for the end zone here, down into the left corner, and incomplete. So 3rd and a dozen. Very exciting game tonight at Falcon Field. All Lake Orion cross town at Holland Field, and they're advancing the ball with relative ease. They're down inside the 40-yard line now, and that's a 28-0 ball game with a little under 3 minutes to go in the half. And if they get another touchdown before halftime, we'll play running clock again at North Farmington. Time again for Pacey. Dumps it down the middle. I think it's caught. It's caught down there at the 5-yard line. It is complete. I think that's Connolly. I'm sorry, Madison, number 11. Madison with the catch. He's down to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Farmington in a 14-14 tie. And once again, Pacey with that time. And what an arm. Talk about on the money. That play was well defended. But it's caught down there. 1st down and goal. Madison with the catch. 1st and goal, Falcons. 6:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The clock is running. The score is tied. Ryan Connolly is the lone running back. They're going to run a jet sweep left side. It's going to result in a touchdown. Touchdown Farmington. The Falcons have taken the lead. It's Keyshawn Wilson again. Wilson, number 6. He was the man in motion. Took the handoff from Pacey. The blocking was there. The goal line was there, and he found it. He's into the end zone, and the Falcons have moved into the lead. Their first lead of the night. They're on top 20-14 with the extra point up and coming. How about that? Falcons looking to put an end to Seaholm's undefeated season, and in so doing, guarantee themselves a spot in the postseason. Nebraska's kick is blocked.
And the extra point is no good.
So it's 20-14. Well, we've seen those extra points be crucial earlier this season. Let's take a look at this touchdown by Keyshawn Wilson. He's the guy that had the 90-plus yard touchdown return. He just came in motion right to left, and he just, you know, it almost looks like targeting there when the running back goes into the defensive back at the goal line, but his momentum carried him through, and the Falcons, for the first time tonight, have taken the lead over Birmingham Seaholm. It is a 20-14 football game. It's all very exciting. I may pass out. Over at Holland Field, meanwhile, 28-0 in favor of the Lake Orion Dragons. We're really excited to be able to bring you both of these games tonight. Really excited to have the opportunity to bring you the action of this Farmington Falcons Birmingham Seaholm game tonight. Seaholm undefeated on the season, 7-0, and the Falcons looking to put an end to that, to wreck it, if you will, and again, for themselves to get win number 6, which would make them, well, in college they say bowl eligible, but here we would of course say playoff eligible. 256 teams will start the playoffs 2 weeks from tonight, as a matter of fact. And well, Farmington, they want to be a part of that, and they're getting it done to this point, midway through the third quarter, mind you, but they are up 6. Over at Holland Field, it's been all Lake Orion here tonight. The Raider defense problematic much of the season. That's continuing again tonight. Now you see it's late in the half, 1:13 to go, and as you know, if the margin reaches 35 points in the second half, they go to a running clock situation. In Lake Orion here, trying to get the 7 points that they need to put it on the clock. And there's a little pass, just a little dump off to the left side, and then a foot race, and it's another touchdown for Lake Orion. So they go ahead 34-0. Let's take another look at it here. I know it's slow motion, but that quarterback still has a lot of time to throw. And then once again, it's Raiders chasing, and that's boy oh boy. And that's all in all. That's just making it a little bit too easy. The extra point here important because again of the running clock situation. If this kick is good, the second half will begin with a nonstop clock at Holland Field. And it is 35-0. 1st and 10 at Seaholm at their own 40-yard line following the Falcons' go-ahead score. Look out, big play for Seaholm. They got a man down the sideline inside the 30-yard line for a pickup of about, 35, 36 yards. Down inside the Falcon 25, down to about the 23-yard line, as a matter of fact. So that's a 32-yard gain. 1st and 10 Seaholm. Now the Falcons have just taken the lead, 20-14. As you see, we're going under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Nebraska's extra point was blocked. That's key. The lead, not 7, but 6. Kinney up under center, handing to Kinney. He finds a little bit of room off that left side, good enough for 5 yards or thereabouts. And so a very exciting football game, to say the least, tonight for Jason Albrecht and his Farmington Falcons. Falcons in the preseason, and hey, listen, you know what the preseason's worth. Michigan State was ranked 11th in the preseason. This Spartan is sad to say, flag comes flying in. Yeah, I was at that Ohio State game last Saturday. You think that was fun? Not really. But we play on.
2nd and 11 on the 24.
And this is going to be 5 against Seaholm. That'll be 2nd down and about, 10, 11, 2nd and 11. Nearing halftime at Holland Field, under a minute to go there. Right here, as you see, 3:40ish, the clock running. The Falcons lead undefeated Birmingham by 6. Fumble in the backfield, ball's on the turf. Scramble for it, and it looks, Seaholm guys say they've got it. No, Farmington ball. Falcons have recovered the football. Turnover by the Maples at the 25-yard line, just when they were driving, just when they were looking for the equalizing or perhaps the go-ahead score in this football game, and there was a fumble, an exchange between the quarterback and the center. It wound up on the ground, and the Falcons were there to get it. Let's take another look. Big-time play in this one. No, it was not the quarterback exchange. It was an exchange between the quarterback and his running back, Holgrave. And whoever is down at the bottom is a Falcon, and he's got the football no matter what that Seaholm player says. There it is, 35, comes out of the pile with the football, and I don't have a 35 on my roster. Okay, these things happen. Pacey, pass deep down the right side, and it's incomplete. Oh, check that, it's complete. Complete down there to 36-yard line. Enough for a first down. They get 11 on the first down play. 1st and 10 Falcons at the 36-yard line. They lead by 6. I'm not sure too many of the prognosticators, and I don't know who they are, would have expected to hear the words Falcons up by 6. Tell you one good thing about having both games on simultaneously. I don't have to check Twitter for out-of-town scores. These are the only 2 games we care about right now. Deep I formation look, and they'll run out of it and get nothing. Maybe a yard. They'll get scant yardage. Guys, I think I lost my mic. I think my mic came unclipped and it's floating around somewhere in my person. I'm hearing these scratching sounds. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Tell you what, with the old headphones, I never lost my mic. Pacey.
Pacey's pass is incomplete.
Third and 9 for the Falcons here. Big play in this one. They're up by 6. They'd love to maintain possession here. Just a couple step drop. Little toss into the flat. He's going to need a block. Gets it. Gets the first down. Nice play by the Falcons on the just short little pass to Ryan Connolly. Just to dump into the flat. The Falcons pick up the first. They're moving the chains. Huge play. Let's take another look at it. Ryan Connolly, number 32. Easy little toss. There's the block he needed. You could see when he caught the ball, he still had to pick up a good 6, 7, 8 yards to make the line to gain. He needed that block. Got it. 1st and 10 Falcons. They are at their own 48-yard line. Under a minute, 20 to go, 3rd quarter. Goes a little pitch to Conley, cuts it up inside, gets good yardage down inside the 40, down inside the 35-yard line. Another first down, another chunk play for the Falcons. 24 yards on this one, just a little pitch to Connolly. You'll see him, number 32, right there. And the right side is sealed. So he gains the edge, as they say. He turns the corner, as they say. He pile drives forward, as I say. He's down to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 Farmington. They lead this one by 6 points. They lead undefeated Birmingham Seaholm by 6 points. Petaway got a last-second instruction as he lines up in the slot. There's a little dump off to the near side. It's Owen Madison. And Madison down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. It's another first down for Farmington. Falcons are driving here. They recover a Maples fumble. They're down to the 19-yard line. The passing game of Dominic Pacey, the story tonight, plus a 90-plus yard kickoff return for touchdown by Keyshawn Wilson. And the third quarter is going to come to an end at Falcon Field. The Falcons knocking on the door. They've got a 6-point lead. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line in what is turning out to be a dandy tonight at Falcon Field. As we said, I don't think many people would expect to hear Falcons by 6 after 3, but that's the situation tonight. The Maples coming in, as we've said repeatedly, 7-0 this season, outscoring their opponents in their last 2 games 108-0. And the Falcons are handling them through 3 quarters tonight. Biggest play of the season, no question about it. The 93-yard kickoff return by Keyshawn Wilson. The very start of the second half. The Falcons had won the toss and had deferred. And they took that second half kickoff, and it took them 13 seconds. It took Wilson, well, it takes a team, but it took Wilson 13 seconds to race from one end of the field to the other and put Farmington on top. I should say to tie the score at that point. Later, the Falcons, later in the third quarter, the Falcons would score another touchdown on a little jet sweep run again. It's Wilson who not logged it, but carried it into the end zone, and that put the Falcons on top 20-14. The extra point, however, was blocked. You know football. Anytime that happens, it gives you pause. It makes you worry just a little bit. But Farmington is in good shape here as they will begin the fourth quarter in the red zone. The first down play fails to gain. It is 2nd down and 10, Farmington at the 19. Rich Kincaid with you here tonight in studio, watching both games. This is our first shot at TV-10 red zone. We were worried, actually I was worried. There's a flag down there and it's against Seaholm. Now this occurred like a post-possession foul situation after the whistle, I think. But they've still got the ball, now they're walking it off. And it's a half the distance to the goal line penalty. And it's going to be 1st and goal Falcons at the 9. 1st and goal Farmington at the 9-yard line. So some sort of a personal foul. The Falcons are in business. But on the first down, the carry by Petaway fails to gain. Might have lost a yard. And now the yard marker, it tells me it's 3rd down. It was not a first down on the personal foul. So now it's 3rd down. I'll figure this out, I really will. I'll even look at the scoreboard. 3rd and 4 from the 13. So 3rd and 4. I thought the referee had stepped that ball off inside the 10 after that half the distance to the goal penalty. 3rd down and 4. Pacey. Complete on the right side. It will be 1st and goal now as the ball is caught down there by Sammy Ramsey. So just a short little completion, but it picks up 8 yards. And it's 1st and goal Falcons at the 4. Halftime at Holland Field, where it's 35-0 Lake Orion. Running clock to start the second half tonight at Holland Field. Right here, Falcons leading it by 6. We're just underway in the fourth quarter. They're knocking on the door. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Good little second effort will result in a gain of a couple of yards by Ryan Conley. He's still not down. They're still pushing at that pile. And he'll be stopped at the 2.
32 Ryan Conley on the
This is
carry.
Conley. This is just power football. You see Wilson in motion briefly. But the play is Conley up the middle all the way. And what you like here is the continued hard work by that Falcon offensive line. Let's shove everybody forward as far as we can. And they get it down to the 2. 2nd and goal from the 2. Falcons looking to improve upon a 6-point lead as we approach 10 minutes to play in the football game. Oh, what a win this would be for the Falcons. Conley again in the backfield. Wilson again in motion. They give the ball to Wilson, and Wilson cuts it up and then into the end zone. Touchdown. Keyshawn Wilson, his 3rd touchdown. His 3rd touchdown of the second half. And the Falcons go up by 12. He was the man in motion again. Here's the move. Made him miss. Lower the head. Touchdown, Falcons. Well, this is an unusual looking arrangement on the extra point as the Falcons go for 2. It's a little toss into the flat. I think they made it. The ball carrier is in the end
There was
zone.
a flag on the play.
But I haven't seen anybody any referee throw their arms up in the air. I think there's controversy here on the way the players were aligned on the field. I think the Falcons, no, they say penalty against Farmington is declined, and the point therefore is no good.
Decline. Incomplete.
So it had to be some sort of an illegal formation. I wonder if we could even take a look at that one. It's what they were going for 2. They had to. They'd missed the extra point on their first touchdown. And so now they end up missing another extra point. So I'm doing math up here. 26-14, the Falcons with the lead. I don't need to do math. The score's on the screen with 9:45 to go in this football game. So the Falcons are up by 12. They'd love to be up by 14, but they're not. They're up by a couple of scores though. And they've got under 10 minutes in which to protect the lead. And if they can do that, they're in the playoffs. How about that? Coach Albrecht last year lost his first 5 games. All right. And his record since is 9-7. Just a short little poochy type kickoff. A little pitchy woo-woo.
Number 15.
Thanks to Scott Van Pelt for that, of course. The line of scrimmage will be the 35-yard line. 3 second-half touchdowns by Keyshawn Wilson have brought the Falcons back from a 7-point deficit to a 12-point lead. They trailed 14-7 at the break. Seaholm all bunched up in their formation. Kinney, the quarterback on the keeper, gets the first, gets away down to the 40 and inside the 40-yard line. A 26-yard pickup to the 39 by the quarterback, Colton Kinney. Doesn't look like there's much room for him, but boy, once he's not brought down at the line of scrimmage, well, bounces off a couple of guys and it's a 26-yard gain. Birmingham here, they depend on that running game. And they keep it on the ground here to pick up of about 5 for Holgrave. Make it 4 officially to the 35, 2nd and 6. Line to gain is the 29. You see it in the corner of your screen as we go under 9 minutes to play. Falcons 26, Seaholm 14. Kinney again, quarterback keeper, good for the first. Little up, little in. Needed 6, got 7, I think. He's right close to the marker.
First down, Naples on the Falcon 28.
finally they moved the chains. I was getting a little confused there. The line to gain was the 29. They spotted the ball at the 28, and yet the chains stayed where they were. And well, you know, I'm a little skittish about the chains this year after what happened in week 1, but we need not go into that. No need to revisit that. Here's a little pitch to Kinney. Boy, look at him hit the hole and with speed go charging down to the 11. So they're picking up yards in chunks on the ground. That's a gain of 17. And you see they're not particularly concerned about the clock because they're getting these 20-yard plus runs, not throwing the ball at all. And this is Kinney again. He's a good running back. So now it's Seaholm's turn to be on the offensive. They trail it by 12. A pitch and a sweeper on the right side, and it's a touchdown for Seaholm. Kyle Robbins carries it in. Now that didn't take particularly long. 7:54 still left in this one. It's a pitch, and now it's just it's got blockers in front of them, and they're blocking, and there you go. It's a touchdown. 11-yard touchdown run by Kyle Robbins. So it's 26-20 with the extra point coming up. And now it's 26-21. 7:54 to go, and it's a 5-point game. And now is when you worry about those extra points, right? All right. Now is when you worry about those extra points. 26-21, you know, 28-21 is better, right? Well, that's just objectively true. But anyways, a dandy football game going on at Falcon Field tonight. Across town at Holland Field, not so much. Lake Orion 35, North Farmington no score, as they're getting ready to get the second half going there. Once they do, it'll be a running clock situation. So, tell you what, we got better than half a quarter of football to go. It's been a great football game tonight at Falcon Field. The Falcons have given us great football all year long. 5 wins in 7 games this season. They've won 5 of their last 6, really have turned things around. And that all started last year. Remember, this is a team under their first-year head coach, Jason Albrecht, that dropped their first 5 and then won their next 4, and they've won 5 of 7 since. So since that 0-5 start, 9-7. It's not bad to go from 0-5 to plus 500. One of those short little pooch-style kickoffs. Actually, no, it was down around the 30-yard line. And the Falcons will check it down near the 20-yard line. The Falcons will start from there, right on the 20. Ball bounced around a little bit. Those always worry you because those are technically onside kicks. But I'll tell you what, as I mentioned, we're inside tonight, but I can tell it's chilly out there. I see a lot of hoodies. So next week we will have another edition of TV-10 Red Zone for you. We will have both the Farmington and North Farmington games on what will be our regular season finale. And if we get the opportunity, just a gain of a few inches, technically yards for Farmington on first down, they'd love to run clock here. If we can work out a way we can bring you a Farmington playoff game. If they're on the road, if they're at home, we should be able to do that, no problem. But if they're on the road, it gets a little technical. But yeah, hopefully we can do that. We'll see how things work out. First, of course, Farmington has to qualify for the playoffs. They're at 5 wins now, with 1 game and half a quarter to go. Pacey, time again, deep again down the near side, caught down there, caught a big-time gainer out near the 45-yard line. It's that man again, Keyshawn Wilson. He's the star of the game to this point. 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, and now he hauls in a 24-yard pitch from Pacey. Falcons in business now at their own 45-yard line. The nice thing here, the clock continues to run on the complete pass. And we are watching that clock in the lower left corner about as closely as we're watching anything else in this football game right now. Under 6.5 to go in the fourth, and the Falcons up by 5. Remember, they were down by 7 at the half. Little spin-a-rama run there, net the Falcons a couple. Petaway, the ball carrier. And it is a gain of 2. And we've gone under 6 minutes to go. And you can just see the Falcons spending as much time as they can between plays. As at the north end zone, the clock goes tick, tick, tick. Pacey. Down the right side, no.
Pacey's pass intended for number 32, Ryan Connolly, incomplete.
Took a bit of a hit as he delivered the pass. No flags, though. The clock stops with 5:29 to go. 3rd down and 8 for the Falcons. To maintain possession, they need to get the football to the Seaholm 45. Nice spread, rainbow sort of formation here. Pesci, the quick toss, and it's caught down near the 30-yard line. 1st down, flag comes in late. Pass was complete to Petaway. So we'll see what the flag's all about, but I think that's going to wind up to be a completed pass. The pickup, the gain on the play was 23 yards. Personal foul against Seaholm. So a blow to the head here. We'll watch for that at the end of the play. Cam Petaway, look at this quick release. Just steps into the throw. What a nice ball that is. Right on the money. Keep an eye on Petaway's head. I don't think that's a target. I think the player drove his shoulder. It was not helmet to helmet, but then again, you can't direct your shoulder at the head or neck region either, so they are calling the penalty. And that is a personal foul, and that gives the Falcons possession in the red zone at the 16-yard line. So all in all, the play and the penalty gives the Falcons a 38-yard gain. 1st and 10 for them in a game they lead by 5, as they're just moments away from hitting the 5-minute marker. 5 minutes to go. Pacey waiting, taking his time, waiting for that snap. Here it comes. And a pickup of a couple of yards for Petaway.
And Petaway on the carry. Tackle by number 34, Brandon Kinney.
And Seaholm has called timeout. 4:45 remaining. 3 yards gained by Petaway on 1st down. So it's 2nd down and 7. And again, that 5-point lead for Farmington. 26-21. So a lot on the line here in the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds. A lot on the line. A postseason berth for Farmington, although again, to be fair, there's one game left after this one, and if they win that one, they're in. But they've got a chance here in week 8 to put an end to Birmingham's winning season, or undefeated season, I should say. So here we go. 2 wides to the left, I formation, Petaway right up the middle. Looked like that play might break, but it didn't. It may be a gain of a yard, it may be a gain of no yards. Seaholm will call another timeout. So they got 1 left. So let's see, 3rd and 7. I would mean if there were no gain on this play, it would be about a 30-yard field goal attempt to make it an 8-point lead. Which 30 is a little iffy. One timeout left for the Maples. Well, you know the Falcons are just thinking about picking up this first down here. They've stalled a little bit on these first 2 running plays. After beginning the possession at the 17-yard line of Birmingham. So the timeout is over. Maples are scrambling a little bit to get into defensive position. Pesci, a pitch to the near side. It's an option pass into the end zone, and it's caught down there. I believe it's a touchdown. On the option pass, it's a touchdown. I believe it was Petaway, number 4, who threw it. That'd give him a receiving and passing touchdown tonight. And that play just broke wide open in the end zone. It is Petaway, number 4. Looks for all the world like he even throws it on the run. And it's caught down there in the end zone. And let's see who was at it's number 11 on the reception, Owen Madison. Well, how about that? This has been a second half fill, the extra point up, and it's good, I think. No, he missed it left. Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. It's an 11-point game now with 4:28 to go. It may always matter, but I'm just saying, how about that? We've had the 90-yard plus reception. Now we get a touchdown off an option pass, and we're going to have to look up the last time Cam Petaway threw a touchdown pass. And how about that? Falcons go into a 32-21 lead. Well, this has been a remarkable football game tonight at Falcon Field. Farmington trailed 14-7 at halftime. They've scored 25 points in the second half. We saw Wilson with 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, including a kickoff return of 93 yards on the kickoff to inaugurate the second half. And we just saw that nifty little play that nobody saw coming, certainly not me, for a touchdown on 3rd down and 7 from the 17-yard line of Birmingham Seaholm. So the Falcons are in real good shape here. 4.5 minutes to go in the football game as they kick it off. And Birmingham's going to start with some, it's another one of those short kickoffs. I'm not sure I always see the rationale behind them, but they're not paying me to coach. And so the Seaholm will have pretty good field position beyond their own 40-yard line. In a game they now trail by 11 points. That's the main thing. It's a 2-score game again at 32-21. A remarkable, an amazing second half by the Farmington Falcons. Now they've moved the football back to the 35. It went out of bounds. And so 1st and 10 for Birmingham from the 35. You see the situation. 4:28 is remaining in the game. Kinney hasn't thrown much tonight, but he has to now, and that's why one suspects they don't throw the ball that often. They're not very accurate with it. What a night by Dominic Pesci, again. All right? You read about him in the preseason being, I'm not unheralded, but maybe a dark horse would be the way to put it. Dark horse candidate for one of the upper echelon, upper tier quarterbacks in this league. He proved it last season. He kind of unnoticed. Threw for 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns. And he's followed it up with a terrific senior season. The co-captain for the Farmington Falcons. He's had all the time in the world to throw tonight, and his arm has been on display. This ball's intercepted down there, I believe, intercepted by the Falcons. They do. They've got the football. It's an interception. And the Falcons are going to take over at the 35-yard line. Seaholm's got but one timeout to give. And I'll tell you, things are looking real good. They could not look better for Farmington right now. Intercepted across the way. Just looked like a little dump-off pass, and one of the linebackers jumped in and picked it off. And Farmington has the football at the 34-yard line of Seaholm. And right now, that coaching staff, Jason Albrecht and all of them, just calm down, boys, okay? We've still got 4 minutes of time to run off this clock. Don't turn it over. And they're going to run the football here. There goes Petaway right up the gut. He's going to score. He's going to go right in for 34 yards, and that is going to do it. The Farmington Falcons are playoff bound. Just a quick hitter up the middle, a touchdown, and the Falcons move into a 38-21 lead with a skosh over 4 minutes to go in this one. Holy cow. A 30-plus point second half for the Falcons tonight. And yeah, they don't have to roll, they don't have to play tight so much anymore. They can relax a little bit. How about that? The Falcons are going to win this one. They're going to improve to 6-2. They're going to the playoffs. Nebraska had a bit of a rough night. This one's up, and you got it. There you go. You have to take a look at the touchdown. So big. So big. Petaway it is. I thought it was. I just couldn't confirm it. Just right up the middle. See you later, everybody. Cam Petaway, who just threw a touchdown, now goes into the end zone for the second time on his own as the ball carriers had a, well, how about? He's had, right, a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and now a rushing touchdown for Cam Petaway tonight. And the Falcons are going to win. They're ahead 39-21 with 4:05 to go. I know, everybody says, well, you're jinxing, you can't. They're up by 18 with 4 to go. They're going to win. They're going to the playoffs. How about that? What a season for Jason Albrecht and the guys. What a tremendous campaign. Tell you what, they win next week. That's 7 wins. They got Utica. Utica's got just the one win coming into play tonight. That'd make them a 7-win team. They'd have a decent chance of hosting a home playoff game, I'm pretty sure. You never know till the selections show, but I think maybe they will. Second half underway, running clock at Holland Field. It's 35-0 Lake Orion over there. And I know we spent a lot of time on this Falcon game tonight, but well, you know, how about that? Farmington, the playoffs. I should look, is what I should do. I think it was 2 years ago that Farmington was last in the postseason. Let's find out, shall we? I'll figure it out. Bear with me, audience, while I'm playing with my computer. Well, Seaholm goes back to doing what it is that they do well, which is run the football. But they're not going to have enough time to run it in for, now they need 3 scores. Maples bring it to the line. They've got a first down at the 35. Kinney pulls it down, runs it, and you'll get about 7 or 8 out to the 45. All right. So we're, I'm just going back. I know you're looking at a replay, but it doesn't matter what happens on this play. Falcons were last in the playoffs in 2019. And they beat Oak Park. You remember the year. That was when North Farmington was defeated by UAD's Jesuit. And then Jesuit played Farmington the following week, and Jesuit won that football game 11-10. That was the last time the Falcons were in the playoffs. That was back in 2019. The booth is poo-pooing me for not paying attention to the replay, but the game's decided, kids. So I just wanted to see the last time Farmington was in the playoffs. Now we're having entertaining byplay between myself and the booth, which it doesn't help you. You know what we should do tonight? Is just put the whole feed up. You know, like, well, that's nice. Now the booth is explaining to me why I should have paid attention to the replay I didn't pay attention to. You know, you can go online and listen to the complete communications, for example, of Apollo 11. You can hear what they're saying in the control booth and what the astronauts are saying. At times it's actually quite entertaining. I think we should maybe do that some night. So anyways, how about the Falcons going to the play? I can't believe it. Really? I mean, seriously. I can't believe that they're clinching in week 8. Is I think pretty much what I mean to say. Because when you look, 7-0 Birmingham. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough football game. A team, Birmingham, which had outscored their opponents by a ton. It's my daughter calling. I'm sorry, guys. You got to tell her I can't take it. There we go. I'll call her back. So, anyways, did I mention she goes to Harvard yet tonight? No, that was the first time. Good deal. Oh dear.
You got an injured player.
That's nice to hear from your daughter. I have no idea what's going on in the game. People seem to be, oh, there we go, injured player. All right, meanwhile, 6.5 to go, already halfway through the third quarter, Howland Fieldwood is 35-0 in favor of the Dragons of Lake Orion. So just to get us up to date, and I'm sorry, I should have muted my phone, but, well, see, like many fathers, right? If your daughter calls, she gets through the muted phone. You know, she's not blocked. So, terrible thing to block your daughter, I think. At any rate, I'll talk to her after the game. 1st and 10, Seaholm. We're down to 2:22 to go. Clock starts up. 39-21. The Falcons have gotten it done tonight. Little juggle, little on the turf, little recovery by the Falcons, and that's it, kids. Don't show me any more replays. There we go. The pitch was just juggled back there. The guy couldn't come up with it at all. It's so frustrating, right? We've all done it, right? You're batting something around in your hands, trying to bring it in. You just can't quite do it. And now it's on the turf, and now we've overrun it. And now, oh, it's just bad. What a play by the Falcon. Take out the man, let another guy get the ball. I love that. Ultimately recovered down there by number 50, Williams. So here we go. 2:11 to go, and an 18-point ball game. And yeah, this is the point where it really doesn't work out. If you're Seaholm, if you're Farmington, it's worked out pretty well. What a great second half. 7 points for them in the first half, 32 here in the second. And they're just chewing up some yards, and more importantly, chewing up clock as we go under 2 minutes to play in the football game. And you can see those excited Falcons on the bottom of the screen. Why wouldn't they be? What a performance here tonight, and what a victory for them tonight. So they got Utica next week, and then the selection show is, let's see here, it's the 23rd, Sunday, a week from this Sunday. I think it's at 6. I know, you check your local listings. It'll be on Valley Sports or whatever it is they're calling themselves these days. No gain on second down. 256 teams in the playoffs, and the Farmington Falcons are going to be one of them in Class B. 3rd and a yard up and coming here. We're approaching a minute to go in this football game. In fact, we'll be under a minute by the time the Falcons get around to snapping the ball. Oh, my goodness. It's just running down. 50 seconds, 49, 48. How about that? You just can't say enough about this Falcon team. I think they're just going to run it down and call a timeout here. That's my theory. Yeah. So timeout with 36 seconds to go. And so the Falcons will run a play, and we'll shake hands at midfield. And Birmingham, Seaholm, they come to town 7-0, and they're gonna leave undefeated no more. We'll do a little iPhone lesson here after the game so I can mute my notifications more effectively. Right? The booth just called me a boomer. I've seen the finest minds of my generation, I'll tell you. Hey, you can call me boomer all you want. I got to see Gordie Howe play. I got to see Bobby Orr play. Okay? So take this. John Beliveau. Oh, yeah. Ken Dryden. Sure. I tell you about the time I ran into Eisman outside an elevator a year or so ago and I didn't recognize him. And he says, Rich, it's me. Well, see, he was 18 when he came to the NHL, and I was thinking from back in the 80s when he was in his 20s. And, you know, now he's 50-something, and you just don't look the same. Spartans are Spartans. Falcons, for some reason, Ohio State popped into my mind. Falcons, a little running play, and that's going to do it. It's just time to wind down the clock. You see it, 20 seconds to go. And we're going to snap it no more. 39-21, a victory by the Farmington Falcons tonight to put them in the playoffs. How about that? My goodness. A 32-point second half. Outscored them 32-7 in the second half. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Somebody dumped some Gatorade. How about that? On a chilly mid-October evening, the Farmington Falcons have come from behind and they've defeated the Birmingham Seaholm Maples 39-21. They get it done. They improved to 6-2 on the season. They are playoff bound. How about that? That's the big news of the night. The big game of the night. It didn't go the way too many people thought it would. 7-0 Birmingham is now 7-1 Birmingham, and the Falcons have qualified for the playoffs for the first time in 3 years, and everybody shakes hands at midfield, and who knows? Two teams may meet again come playoff time. All right? So the Falcons will have a chance for win number 7 when they host Utica next Friday night. We'll turn our attention over to Holland Field now, where, as you can see, Lake Orion has just scored again to go up 41-0.
There's a false start on the kicking team.
And we're getting an extra point sort of situation going here. Or was there? I must say, in all the excitement at Falcon Field, I've kind of lost. My attention has drifted on the North Farmington game. So I don't know if they just scored and were attempting it. Yeah, they just scored. Now they're going to attempt the extra point, which, if good, will put them up by a score of 42-0. But as you see, a minute 48 to go in the third, and a running clock because the point differential is either equal to or greater than 35 points, and it is 42-0 So about 13, 14 minutes of football left to go on this one, and we'll stay with you here on TV-10 to bring this one to its conclusion. 2-5 North Farmington, and clearly, about to drop to 2-6. Just been a disappointing campaign for North Farmington this year. And that has continued, as you know the story by now, right? They won their first 3 games last season and then reeled off 6 losses in a row. And really, since that 3-0 start last year, they've had only 2 wins. They beat Troy 9-0 the weekend after Labor Day. And they were able to, they beat Athens, handled them pretty easily, 28-7, just 2 weeks ago. With the exception of the Week 2 loss to Caledonia, in which they surrendered a team high, a team record high, 68 points, they've been in their games. It's not like, well, they're blown out in this one tonight. But you look at these scores. They lost by 6 points to Farmington. That was maybe the best game we had on TV-10 this season, unless you want to count the performance the Falcons put on tonight in defeating Birmingham, and I don't see why you wouldn't do that, because that was the Falcons knocking off an undefeated team. Seaholm, they beat Farmington by only 7 points, okay? And then Avondale, that was a 3-point win for Avondale. Athens, the 2 victories, 9-0 over Troy and 9-0 over the other Troy school, Athens. They're only 2 wins this year, but again, with the exception of that blowout against Caledonia, they've been competitive. And now they're getting blown out again here tonight. But again, there's a reason they break down the schools in the Oakland Activities Association by, frankly, how good the teams are. All right, I think part of it's enrollment, but I think also part of it is, who has the best programs. They adjust annually. It's sort of a relegation situation. Last year, North Farmington played a division up. Now this year they've dropped to the blue, and here they're playing a team from an upper division, and they're getting handled pretty well at Holland Field, as they're going to find themselves with that 2-6 record at the end of the night. So back to the, Coach Herstein and staff. These are winning guys on the coaching staff of North Farmington. Okay, you got Coach Harrington coming over from Harrison. You got Coach Herstein coming over from Harrison. A lot of Harrison guys on that staff, and the one has to figure that they'll get this thing turned around. So right now, second down and 5-ish for them at the 40-yard line as the third quarter is about to come to an end. There's a long pass, incomplete. They have not had, remember last year, they had that outstanding quarterback who, what was he, 15, 16 years old and starting. And he's been hurt. Thomas Belazovic has played quarterback all season. He missed a game as well, and he had to have his backup start one game. It was Milt Coleman Jr., as a matter of fact, who started that game. And it just has not clicked. There's nothing to say about that, but cliches. But I'll tell you what, on the other side, the big story of the night in Oakland County football is going to be Farmington's win over Seaholm by that final score that I didn't write down, 39-21, wasn't it? Sorry, I didn't write it down. This is a terrific season for a Farmington team that last year, you will recall, under a first-year head coach, lost their first 5. And then they sort of served notice there that, maybe we're not an 0-5 team. They reeled off 4 victories in a row. And so if you take them last year, the last 4 wins, right, and a 6-2 record this year, well, my math tells me that's 10-2. All right, that's not too bad from the midpoint of last season to very nearly the end of the current campaign. So Coach Albrecht and the guys over there, congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing you all in the postseason. That, to me, that's just a tremendous accomplishment for a team in their second season. Blazovic, meanwhile, has a man wide open down the middle, and this will put North Farmington on the board. I'm going to guess that that's Holman, so it usually is. And it's a long touchdown pass.
6-yard touchdown pass from
And sorry, bear with me. The Falcons. See, I knew this was going to happen. The Raiders are on the board on the first play of the fourth quarter. So they trail it 42-6. And there's a flag thrown out near the 30-yard line. So do we have ourselves a 70-yard touchdown pass or do we not? All I can do is sit here and watch and wonder with you. So the penalty, whatever it was, is declined. They didn't pick up the flag and wave it in such a fashion that you would infer that they were saying the ref was saying my bad. But the penalty, it doesn't matter. It's a touchdown. It's 42-6, or is it? Because they haven't put the points on the board. And let me see that referee, the guy in the white cap. There we go. Penalty. All right. Now they put the points on the board. Okay. Because the referee pointed at the North Farmington side. Maybe he was saying they declined the penalty. Whatever. It's a touchdown. And a nice one it was. So the Raiders avoid the ignominy of being blanked. And we still got almost the whole fourth quarter to go, but this will maintain the point differential at 35, assuming the extra point, and it's good. And so the running clock will continue.
The extra point attempt by Vinny Lee is good.
So nice they could get one in there.
42, North Farmington 7.
And at least, you know, it's tough. It's tough. We have, it's just been a tough year, right? We've seen them, we had them on TV-10 when they gave up those 68. It was meant against boys. I believe Caledonia scored on they mimicked Ohio State against Michigan State last year. Remember, Ohio State scored on every possession in the first half and led 49-0 at the half. Caledonia scored on every possession they had in the first half of that game, and they led, it was like 45-0 or something like it at halftime of that one. And if you just look at the numbers, the problem with North this year appears to be defensive. 33 points allowed, 29 points allowed, 27, 68, 34. But a shutout in there too against Troy. So we're wrapping things up for North Farmington on the night, and we got Bloomfield Hills in here next Friday night. We'll have that. We're going to do another Red Zone broadcast for you. We'll look forward to that. And like everything else, I think it's safe to say in the history of TV-10, the technology improves. We learn to use it. I'm going to learn to use my iPhone.
Kickoff went out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
So we'll continue to develop this particular format. But right now, we just need to bleed this clock. Call it a night. So Lake Orion will start right at midfield here with that big lead, 35 points. I'll tell you what, I'm still getting the feed from Farmington, and the players are walking off, and you can tell that it may just be family or whatever, but they're still fans in the Falcons bleachers. They're cheering for the kids. How nice is that? So just a little, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's something you don't see very often unless you're actually at a game, and even then you're usually gone by now. But just the whole process of shutting things down, and it's nice that even this long after a game's ended, some of the kids, change in the locker room. Some of them change in the field locker room there and come out. But it's nice. It's heartwarming to, still see the family out there, still see your pals. So and once again, congratulations to them on becoming a playoff team tonight on a night when not everybody expected that would be the case. And good Raider defense here. They gave up 5 on the first down play. They don't give up very much at all here on the second down play, so it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Dragons. How about that? So we've got, as we say, 2 games for you next week. Bloomfield Hills and North Farmington. Utica against Farmington. It'll be our second crack at our TV-10 Red Zone. And I'm telling you what, I'm a little excited about the prospect of Farmington winning 7 and maybe hosting a playoff game. Incomplete pass on 3rd down. One suspects the Dragons will punt. And there's the whole idea of the running clock. Normally, of course, it would stop on an incomplete pass, but as you see in the lower left, that clock continues to run. So we'll be out of here in 12, 13 minutes. It will stop on change of possession. Sometimes, though, they don't. So I've seen it go both ways on that. Here's the punt by Lake Orion, and it's fumbled, and it's just, well, it's going to be North Farmington football at the 45-yard line. It was a botch, is what it was. These things happen. So the Raiders trailing it by 35. They did not stop the clock on the change of possession, and they'll see maybe if they can get back to a sustainable, regular sort of clock. They told me they put me in the corner, but I don't see me. I was pretty excited about being in the corner, I'll tell you that. So, there I am. Hi. Like the studio, like the setup. Very, very clean look, don't you think? I'll work on this next week. This is a little sloppy. Sorry, it's all I got. And but no, I like it. I like the set a lot. So that's terrific. I feel like I'm doing Sports Center.
Carried by Amari Harden Jr.
It's going to be, they pick up, that's a solid gain on first down, right? 7 yards. I was thinking I could check my phone. Well, it was going off and all manner of thing, and you know, man, oh man, oh man. You know, the most surprising thing of all, of course, is that my daughter wasn't actually watching the broadcast. She doesn't know I'm on. Oh well. 2nd down, 3. Fumble. The running back went skidding through and the ball did not accompany him. I'm not sure who's got it. Nope, I think Orion's got it. Well, that's just how this night is gone, and that would be your season microcosm in play, I think, right? Looked like it was going to be a nice gainer, and as he broke through the line, somebody reached in and stripped the thing. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Stop doing that. Jeez, notifications from Netflix. I don't care. Bob Reynolds, legendary announcer for the Detroit Lions back when I was a kid, right? And he would literally say on the big broadcast, so-and-so is the ball, he fumbled the damn thing. I never forget that. I'm like 12 years old listening to the Lions game on the radio. I'm like, can he say that? And here I am now, older than 12, saying, can I say that? Probably not. Yeah, there you go. He would do that all the time. I think it's why he finally got fired. But you see, the thing about announcers back then, Bob Reynolds, Bob Ufer from Michigan, they were fans first and announcers second, and so they would react as a fan might react. But say, oh, he fumbled the darn thing, you know. Oh well. More of a toe the line situation these days. You don't want to be getting out of line, or you'll be in the unemployment line. Halfway through the 4th quarter at Holland Field, the 60th anniversary of Raider football being celebrated tonight. Again, not technically the anniversary itself, but the ceremony delayed 2 years because of COVID, and we're all glad that they were able to hold it. But we're just winding this one down, as you see by that the scoreboard. You notice the North Farmington score in the lower left there, the 7. You know, the lights aren't all working right now, and it looks to me like rollerball. The jersey's in rollerball. You ever see rollerball? James Caan? Maybe not. They did a remake of it a few years ago. The old guy in the booth says, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The guy who called me Boomer says, I know what you're talking about. Pretty good movie, by the way, Rollerball. No penalties, no time limit. It was a metaphor about corporatism as much as it was about a made-up sport, as I recall.
Jimmy carried the ball, tackled by Christian Walsh.
There we go, 5 minutes to go tonight at Holland Field. Let's see, tomorrow we'll be going back up to East Lansing to see how the Spartans fare against Wisconsin. I think the Lions are off this week. I probably should know that. And I think they're at Dallas. I know their next home game's not till October 30th. And what was that I saw yesterday? Richardson, the #1 draft choice, right? You know, they drafted, he had an Achilles injury, but he was supposed to be ready by the end of camp, and now he re-injured it, and he's going to be done for he's done for the year. What else is going on in sports, Rich? Well, the playoffs are good. The baseball playoffs, I've liked them. I've enjoyed that. Oh, how about that hit? Huh? How about that hit? Was that 23, I see? I'm looking. Excuse me. Things are getting a little out of hand here. I just looked at my North Farmington roster, and yes, there's a number 23, and the name is blank. I've got all the other stats, junior, 6'3", you know, whatever, and there's no name there. Oh, when it's not your night. Another first down for the Dragons. As we're under 3.5 minutes to play in this one. The big story tonight, though, Falcons are in the playoffs. Upset victory over previously, bet you they all like saying that, previously undefeated Seaholm. So they came in 7-0. They came in having outscored their last two opponents 108-0. You know what you start talking about now? What kind of a playoff run will the Falcons have? They've got some talented players. Starting with their quarterback, Pacey. Keyshawn Wilson, 3 touchdowns tonight in the third quarter. That, you know, you go back and I think you're going to find that 90-plus yard, I think it was 93, by Keyshawn Wilson, when they were trailing 14-7, not only what a way to start a second half, but maybe a turning point of a season. You know, they go into next week, if they lose that game tonight, they go into next week 5-3, needing to beat Utica. And again, mind you, Utica, 1-7 team entering play tonight. But that's still pressure, isn't it? Right? And you don't always win those games. Yeah. All right, we continue to wind it down here. Nice effort by the Raider defense there. It'll bring up 4th and about 5. But as you can see, a minute and a half to go in the game, and this one's decided. So another difficult night for Coach Herstein and company. You sort of have to wonder what their mindset is heading into their season finale. West Bloomfield in town a week from tonight. Do you play a lot of kids to get them experience for next year? Do you thank your seniors for the effort that they've put in?
Jamie carries the ball, tackled by Christian
Now
Wall.
we'll get a chance to ask them all those questions.
Turnover on downs.
A little later in the week. I'd like to give Coach a little bit of time, especially after a loss like this one, which it's not officially in the books, but as you can see, there will be no more plays run tonight at Holland Field. So what an evening on our first edition of TV-10 Red Zone, okay? We had glory at Falcon Field and not so much at Holland Field. 60th anniversary for North Farmington Raiders football, but they're crushed tonight, 42-7 by Lake Orion. However, cross town at Falcon Field, well, what a night it was. A great win for Jason Albrecht and his Farmington Falcons as they upset previously undefeated Birmingham Seaholm by a final score of 39-21, outscoring them 32-7 in the second half. Tremendous football game and a playoff berth clinching win tonight for the Farmington Falcons. So we've had a good time with our first Red Zone edition. We're going to give it another shot next week, see if we can bring you 2 games at the same time. And I'm all excited about that. Great crew, both at both stadiums and here in the booth. So for all of them, and I, as always, want to say good night, Jeannie. I love you. I'm Rich Kincaid. Good night, everybody.